I'm Michelle from Cannabis with Michelle. I'm a certified cannabis health coach who helps people find relief from many different ailments using medical cannabis. In this series, I'll talk to patients and colleagues who have incredible health journeys with cannabis. They use cannabis as part of their treatment plan for everything from Crohn's to PTSD and chronic pain. We'll hear their stories about how medical cannabis has helped them manage their conditions and feel better than they ever have before. Thanks for watching. Hello and welcome to Cannabis with Michelle interviews. Today I've had the joy of having Alex Shafer come and join me in this interview. Welcome, Alex. Why don't you share a little bit about yourself and then I will ask you some questions.
Hi, Alexander Shafer, down in South Florida. I own Pure Life Advancement Coaching, and I've been on this health and wellness journey for, I don't know, about 15 years, and excited to talk about cannabis today.
So awesome. Thanks for coming. It's my favorite topic to talk about.
A pleasure.
So I'd like to start with what you were going through before cannabis, unless, maybe you had a different relationship with cannabis, but what was life like before cannabis as medicine?
So I actually started drinking at quite a young age. I was a very high functioning alcoholic and had easy access to it. So I started quite young, had a habit, but then, as I got older, violence started to happen, fights and just other bad, things, waking up, not remembering. So I didn't like that. I was never addicted to opioids. I didn't get into that. That wasn't my cup of tea. It was really just kind of drinking, going out and being social. But then like in the later years, I started blacking out like that. And it was like horrible to go through those experiences. I just remember the pit in my stomach when I'd wake up and be like, oh my God, what? I did that? What? I sent that text message? I don't remember that. I bought that. So you get surprise gifts, drunk shop. So then I really took a look at it and I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I went completely natural. So for the last 2.5 years, I have not had any kind of opioid or even an Advil to ingest. It's just been, plant-based CBD, cannabis, and some psychedelic medicine experiences that I experienced as well.
Wonderful. And I bet you just feel so much better in your body, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Like it helps me get into the essence of the moment. I mean, that's what really, I call her Santa Maria. It's not just marijuana, it's not just weed. So the essence of her is she comes and she experiences life with you. She gets you to slow down, be in the moment, and process your day or process a trauma that happened. Whatever thought comes into your mind, you just get to go deep and experience it. And that's really what life's about to me. And that's where the healing and the medicine is, because it's all mental for me. I'm a very physically fit person. I work in the sun, I'm outdoors all the time, and it's a lot. So it's nice to have that as a relaxation as well, especially when you mix, 1-to-1s and make your own ratios, or maybe you smoke a little bit or have some tincture. I enjoy dabbling because the universe is massive and there's so much more to this. And when you smoke, a lot of times you'll experience that and you'll realize you could even have an out-of-body experience if you meditate with it. It's wonderful for meditation. And I'm not saying you have to be, some kind of a health nut or on a spiritual journey, but just sitting still and being with your thoughts is a form of meditation. I think Santa Maria has a huge benefit for all of us. And I think we could all experience some anxiety and, depression relief. We just sit down and just process it. So I love it.
That's so beautiful. I totally agree 100%. My journey has also been a spiritual journey with cannabis, and being able to just slow down, be in the present moment, see your current environment with gratitude and love has completely changed my perspective, my depression, my anxiety. Cannabis really has been my spiritual ally.
Oh, for sure. It takes your mind out of that rat race and societal, belief system that you lack something or you're longing for something or you lost something. When if you get the right amount of marijuana or cannabis, however you use it, if you get the right amount, you can really just kind of sit back and be like, I thought life was pretty tough, but it's not so bad, just sit back and it takes the whole pressure off of everything. And it's so
Yeah.
amazing. A natural plant that just grows. I mean, you find it out in the wild, and I'm so grateful that it became legal in Florida. I think it's going on 5 years now. So that's been a real blessing. And a lot of people do it. I actually worked in a dispensary for a little bit to learn more about terpenes and profiles of all the different strains, see what I like, what I don't like. And then I got kind of hooked. So when I would deal with a patient, I would ask them, what do you like? What do you need? And they like, what's a terpene? Oh, there's percentages. And I would just go through it. And I actually laminated this little thing. I wish I had it with me, but I made a little terpene profile for the basic 12 and would go through kind of what they like and what they don't like and have them write a note in their phone, because there's a lot of new users, and it's important to educate yourself. And you might as well take 30 seconds to be like, don't like that one. Oh, love that one. Need to get more of that, or, understand why you like it. I like myself linalool a lot. I like the lavender flavor. I like the relaxation, the muscle relaxation. I'm typically an indica guy, but I definitely would go sativa in the morning. I'll do it all. I'm not afraid. I do transdermal patches, which are wonderful. It has a different effect. It doesn't slow you down like an edible. But I've just started making my own mixture with a little bit of inhalation and then a CBD tincture. And with the workouts that I'm doing,
Those
my joint
layering, being able
feels
to utilize all the different methods and the different cannabinoids together to just help really balance the whole endocannabinoid system within us, right?
right. Well, now I'm empowered, because with alcohol before, I was living in victim mentality and struggling and just like constantly cycling back. And with alcohol, you drink it. With marijuana, cannabis, you can smoke it, you can put it on your foot, you can rub it on your skin, and it helps you with joint pain. You can take tincture and it goes to you immediately. I mean, it helps with brain processing and neuroplasticity, and just helping people create more. I mean, go smoke a joint and do an adult coloring book. Tell me it's not the best 15 minutes you've had in the last 2 years. Somebody, that's what they say. They're like, wow, I didn't realize how much I like coloring. This is amazing. And it's the magic of the plant medicine.
You can smoke a joint and go rake leaves in the yard and enjoy that immensely. Like
Oh,
you can find the joy in all the activities you do.
for sure. Absolutely.
So tell me, what was your first experience coming to cannabis after alcohol?
So I was fresh out of a plant medicine retreat, so it actually kind of reset my neural pathways, and it was a little more intense than I remembered. So I had to build a relationship with her again, and I had to, figure out what I like, what I don't like, and then build up a tolerance, because you can't just go into smoking dabs if you haven't smoked in a month, or you shouldn't. So I don't know, probably took a couple weeks to calibrate. And then, like I said, right after that, that's when I started working the dispensary. So not only did I get a great discount, I started just buying everything and seeing what I like and what I don't like. My wife became a patient. So we were experiencing all that together. And so we would try things and have nights together instead of like going out bowling. You stay in, you have a little cannabis, maybe you do an activity together, go out for a walk, and go to the beach, enjoy sunset. I mean, Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places in the world. So I'm so grateful.
I
Just
love that
living
part of the experimenting process with my husband too. Like as we were trying different things and experiencing things together, and even if it was just listening to music and then pulling out the the amazing parts of it, or just like immersing ourselves into a great song together, and of course being outdoors and in nature with cannabis is always very magical too. So yeah, the experimenting part was so fun.
I feel like it deepens the connection, because it gets you to pause and ask questions to the other person. Like you, in the normal day, in the car ride, you're thinking about the five other things that you're heading to. Whereas if you just pause, like you're like, oh, I didn't remember that part in that movie. That's funny, like you take a break and you guys connect and you laugh more and you know, enjoy life more together.
And connection, I find, is one of the biggest things. Again, as a spiritual ally to me, the connection was huge, right? I find that our world is so disconnected and separated and isolated, and especially through COVID, you really realize that when you weren't in a group and you were left in your own thoughts, how alone you were in those dark times, right? But
Absolutely.
being connected is the most healing thing for me. And by using cannabis and seeing that connection a little clearer, finding clarity in my relationships and just being able to see people for who they are and not your expectations and your own beliefs. It's who they really are. Like this is my husband. This is his love and how he shows it. And it was so great to connect like that.
So another thing that sounds kind of weird, I love to get a little bit high and listen to Audible. And the one I just listened to was The Untethered Soul. And it's all about us as the observer. So if you have trouble winding down, I'm not telling you to go get bliss. I'm saying calmly find a way to maybe even start with a 1-to-1 vape. You know, that's a nice, easy, slow way to get it. You can kind of get the feel and vibe out. But as we
One
live
to
our
one as
lives,
in THC, CBD.
yes, yeah, THC, CBD, 1-to-1. Sorry, yes.
Okay.
But I just love when you get blend them together, they have a synergistic effect and they really just exponentiate each other. Like you have a much better experience. And what is it? THCA is the master terpene.
CBG,
CBG, yeah, is like the
my
most
favorite
dominant.
cannabinoid.
There, CBG for God, right? I mean,
It's the
it's
chill cannabinoid, right? So just yeah. I
yeah,
like to do THC, CBD, and CBG together for the perfect chill vibe without
definitely,
being overly high, just feeling good, feeling in the moment, completely functional. I love that connection, that combination.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um, so we've seen what it was like before cannabis and alcohol, how you came to cannabis and your experience with cannabis, and how would you describe how an addiction to alcohol, how it's very different to an addict to not even there. I wouldn't even call it an addiction to cannabis, but a relationship with cannabis.
That's really important. I don't want to say struggled or battled with it, but it was on my mind a lot for the last 6 months. You know, is this something that I should be using? Is it something? And then I kept taking breaks to just kind of feel it out. And I certainly wasn't addicted. I didn't have a
Yeah.
mood swing, but I noticed, you know, my body didn't feel as good. And it's like, why not let my body feel good? And in the industry that we're in with coaching, there's a lot of personal interaction and there's also a lot of dedication to you're doing your marketing, you're doing everything. So yes, I did think a lot about did I replace alcohol with marijuana? And I certainly did not. It's not the same relationship at all because alcohol, you know, as we grow, we have these traumas and you know, it separates us. So the more separated we get from our truth, the more you can buy things. You can be addicted to anything. It doesn't have to be alcohol. Mine was alcohol. Hers could be shopping. His could be porn or sex addiction. I mean, it's all over the board
Yeah.
and it doesn't stop. And people, I know a billionaire. We have the more billionaires in Naples per capita than any other place in the world, next to like Santa Monica, California. So this guy's got $4 billion. His son died, God bless him. But he has ranches with exotic animals. He has all these expensive things, you know, cars, boats, helicopters, planes. The more he buys, the more rude, you know, more, I hate to say it, entitled
Empty.
he, but it's he's going through it. So I just kind of understand that's how he is, and we try to hold space for him. But then I've been to third world countries and plant medicine experiences where people are living in mud huts as a community, and they're the happiest people you've ever seen. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, there's a little bit of a hierarchy because somebody's got a nicer hut than them, but it's not like, you know, it's not what we see here in the West. I mean, you're in Canada, I'm sure it's different up there. But yeah, Naples is a hidden gem. It is definitely one of the most beautiful places in the country. So I didn't have the desire to, I never went to bars anymore because I wasn't drinking. In cannabis, we don't have, I would love to open a hangout or some sort of a social spot,
Right.
do what you do at dinners, but you can't really legally do that here. So once that becomes more available, it'd be really interesting to pursue that. But right now I'm just enjoying, knowing and that I'm confident. I even wrote it down in my journal a few times. I wrote about it, and she always came back, and it was just like, when you're ready, come back. I will be here. And I've always been supported by her, and it's a wonderful, like I said, I had to go through the process of
Yeah.
asking myself, but now that I'm there, it's really a wonderful tool.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because a lot of people don't understand that. And especially when you go through, say, a 12-step program and it's about complete abstinence from anything in your body, right? And by helping to share that voice where you tested it, you asked those questions, you wanted to know, am I just replacing alcohol with cannabis? And I think a lot of people think that way. And by actually going through the process of figuring that out for yourself and realizing this is a completely different relationship where I'm facing my problems, I'm not running from them. And by being able to do that, you've grown so much, and your health is optimal, your mind is clear, your life has changed for the better. And why wouldn't we continue using natural plant medicine for health in those ways?
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's grown, it's been around, it's in the, pyramids of Egypt, it's on the walls. I mean, so why wouldn't I follow a 6,000-year-old tradition when our history is what, 600 years old, maybe?
Well, and it's only the last 100 years where there's been stigma and fear, and before that it was accepted everywhere. And so
Right. And in America, you had to grow it. Like, that was part of you paying your taxes. Well, you had to be a hemp farmer, and people don't realize, like, you could make hemp concrete, and it's a fireproof wall already. So you don't have to have concrete, the fire barrier, and the drywall and all that. It's all in one, and it's a plant. Also, people don't realize that when you grow hemp, it has 4 times the oxygen yield than a spruce or fir tree forest. It produces 4 times the oxygen. The only thing that's close to that is the mangroves you see down here in Southwest Florida, but they are not as prevalent as if everybody grew marijuana or was allowed to grow hemp. Even
right.
just a hemp, you can make clothes, you can make textiles, everything. It's
Yes.
incredible what this one plant does. It will save the world once it's completely legal and we have a few technologies, available. We will change the entire infrastructure of what we used to live in, and it will happen in my lifetime. I am confident in that.
I believe it too. It's coming.
Great to be part of the psychedelic revolution and this plant medicine revolution, and stand up for it. We have to
Yes.
take a stand right now, and it's imperative that we all, communicate and connect. I'm so grateful for this connection right now, that we can be passionate about these plants. And
If we all lift each other up and support each other and create balance globally, we're buying useless things and wasting food in the Americas, and people are starving and don't even have the bare necessities in third world countries. If we can shift the balance of that across the world, everybody prospers. The environment balances, the climate will come back to normal, because they're trying to still get ahead so much, and we're trying to start to change the environmental factors. Why don't we just stop buying useless things and stop wasting
exactly,
and spread the wealth?
the change in consciousness is huge. That's what it does. And when we come together, like you said, if people just hold space, like, everybody deserves to be asked how your day was.
Yeah.
Everybody. We're all so special. We are all unique, and we're all divine in our own right. What's it called? An ego death is welcome. Let's
Right.
go.
So beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Alex. It was so wonderful to talk to you on this subject, and just to create some more awareness around um, addiction versus cannabis use. And I thank you immensely.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the connection, and I look forward to our talking again.
For sure.